So to start, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you treat weight loss in your practice?
You treat weight loss in many different ways. It's not just one thing. It's always a combination of factors of diet, lifestyle, baseline illness.
One thing that I hear a lot from women is that they're deficient in protein.
Right.
Do you find that that's true?
We have macronutrients, but we don't have enough micronutrients. You know, fruits, vegetables, probiotics, fermented foods, all the things that round out the diet.
So many people are busy though, and they're looking for something to help throughout the day.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice, like actionable?
I do a bunch of different things, but I almost always have with people to have like one shake a day, because this is a really easy thing. Most people can do that. They set it up in the morning, depending on their lifestyle. And I start with a good general meal replacement kind of protein. We can talk about things that I like in that category, and that's when you then also add fruits and vegetables and the supplements that I recommend, and things that are going to help with your inflammation.
I love that. That sounds easy.
Yeah.
And it can be delicious with all the different ways
100%.
people. What would you mix into your shake?
Everyone needs a good protein base. One of the things I recommend, I have these super fancy, expensive powders, and people can spend $80, $90 on them, and they're specific sometimes to their disease state. And then there's sort of over-the-counter ones, like I'll use something called Almaced, which I really like because it's really clean, it's nutritious, it's fermented, it has that kind of probiotic profile. And then on top of that, typically I'm gonna add some oils in there. So people are like, what are you talking about? But I'm like, put a little coconut oil in there, put a little olive oil in there, extra virgin olive oil. Put some peanuts if you like that, or almond butter. Because people are sort of shortchanging themselves on their fats, and those are the good fats. You can put in alpha-linoleic acid, or we can, put in, there's a lot of things we put in there. So I usually have a good fat in there, and then I put in extra vitamins, and usually organic frozen spinach, and you put some organic berries in there to make it sweet, and maybe you throw in a little raw honey.
You mentioned fermented foods.
Yeah.
How can that help? I mean, that's such a buzzword right now, right? With gut health and weight loss.
Right.
What do we need to know about fermented foods?
Well, that's sort of the concept of the microbiome, which is now very popular. Everyone talks about gut health and leaky gut. The microbiome, we didn't know so much about the microbiome until really 10, 15 years ago, until they actually categorized it and started looking at all the genes. We didn't know that we actually are outnumbered by 100 to 1 in terms of our cells, that we have 100 trillion microorganisms living in our gut, and they're not dangerous germs. They actually keep us alive.
So you mentioned Almaced.
Yeah.
Tell me, why is it that brand? What is it about it that you like?
Well, I like Almaced. There are a lot of choices in shakes. And like I said, I'll use some very high-end ones, but the ones that are very expensive and almost nutraceutical grade. The only one that's on the market that is in that same class, but at a much lower price point, is Almaced. It's made from non-GMO organic protein. It has raw honey. It's fermented. This fermentation process, no one else does this.
And so you really need a food that is bioactive, right? It has
100%.
to really absorb into the gut, and so you can get the good stuff?
Yeah, it's very interesting, these bioactive peptides that we talked about on Almaced. There's this one called Lunasin, which is so interesting. This has been isolated in other studies, and it naturally occurs in the fermentation process that Almaced does, where they combine the honey and the GMO protein and let it cook, basically. And this Lunasin lowers inflammation, lowers cholesterol, and it's proven.
I think a lot of people don't understand the connection with liver and weight loss, but it's huge, right?
I always explain this, and everyone's like, well, I'm not gonna eat fat because I don't want to get fat. What makes you fat is sugar, is carbohydrates. Chemistry is a little bit complicated, but you take carbs into your body and it turns it into triglycerides and fat and loads up your liver with fat. That's how you get fat. And same with cholesterol. Our body makes cholesterol when we're out of balance, and it makes way too much cholesterol. And it's not from eating cholesterol, it's from eating sugar, and it's from being inflamed, and it's from having a liver that's loaded with fat and can't detox all the things it needs to do. So if you start with a product like Almaced that has all the things that you need for your body to work the way it's supposed to work, then you're way ahead. And it's almost like a little cheat that you get. Instead of just being like, I'm gonna buy this protein powder and mix it with everything, this gives you that little extra cheat, because I wanna give my patients something where, like, instead of losing 1 pound a week, they lose 2 pounds a week. Who doesn't like that better?
Right.
And it's like, you have to tweak it. And Alma said it's one of these tweaks, because it's actually really good for you, as opposed to just helping you lose weight. Like, it's good. I don't want people just to lose weight. I want them to not be ill. I want them to feel well. I want them to be well. I want them to be happy.